What's going on, everybody? We back, man. We back live, 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 live. We had some good games tonight. Preseason football started Thursday, Friday, and I believe there's some Saturday games. But there was some great games tonight. West Warwick, what I gotta say, I think West Warwick is the real thing. Weapons everywhere. Put a shellacking on Tolgate. And what I don't get is Tolgate down 32-0. 5 seconds left to end the game, and Tolgate calls a timeout. What? I don't know. Where do you get these guys from? But I have no idea. Central puts a combined. Imagine Central. Central put a combined 30-0 up. But let me play this. Please share this real quick. We're going to bring Emerson Kilgore up in just a second. I want to give a few people some time to get up in here, so stand by. Here we go. We back, man. What's some good games? Tolgate takes a timeout with 5 seconds remaining, 32-0. Central plays Classical and Mount Pleasant. Central puts a combined 30 points up. 16-0 against Classical because Classical did not want to play 2 quarters. And then Central puts 14 up on Mount Pleasant. Barrington and Pilgrim, for one, listen, they didn't miss the bus. The bus never came. We're going to bring Emerson Kilgore in. We're going to talk about some of this stuff. But, yeah, Pilgrim, they were waiting for the bus. The bus never even showed up. Imagine that. Like, all right, the bus is going to be late. Nah, the bus didn't even come.
Crazy. Oh, my God.
What's up, Emerson? How we doing?
Doing all right. How about you?
All right. Welcome, man. We had some great games. You was officiating the Classical Mount Pleasant Central matchup.
Yes.
How was your first day back on the field first?
Well, outside of a little bit of rust, like throwing the balls around and stuff like that, everything went rather smooth. I have to say, coming out the gate, Central really looked good. Obviously this is the end of preseason, and obviously there was some mistakes made with all teams, but Central really came out on fire, and the sideline was good. I know a lot of the coaching staff there, and I was really happy to see the excitement on that sideline. One of the surprises I was definitely very happy to see is Peter Quayway is an assistant coach at Central. And when I saw him, I was definitely happy to see him. And, he's helping out these boys here at Central, and he's doing his thing. So that was really, really good. I got a chance to see Classical play, and, they were, they showed spurts of potential. But, again, it's preseason, and, they have a little bit to get things together. But I'm positive they're going to get things together for the upcoming Division III season. And honestly, Mount Pleasant was coincidentally a pleasant surprise. I mean, they made some big plays against Central. It was definitely their passing attack kind of got after them a little bit. They had a couple of runs. The score might have been, whatever it was, 12-0, whatever. I forget what the score was exactly.
14-0.
Yeah, but they did. Mount Pleasant kind of got them a little bit, a couple here. I mean, obviously they couldn't punch it in, but upfield they were doing pretty good. But I mean, overall Central looked good. I mean, offensive line was moving. They were getting after it, getting up the field. They had a lot of pressures with both teams. Offensively they look good. I think I forget what the running back number. I don't know if it's number 1. I forget. He definitely has potential to play. In college. He's a shorter back. He's solid though. He was breaking tackles. Making people miss. He really looked good. So I think overall Central is going to be a force to be reckoned with in Division One. Again, regardless of there's only 4 teams up there. I'll definitely say there could be some surprises at the end of the year here. So, but right now Central looks really good. Definitely was excited to see what they were, what they've been doing. I coached a couple of clinics during the summer. Definitely saw some of the Central guys at some of these places. So, that shows the commitment there. I know Coach Washington was bringing them, bringing them to different places and making them work. I know they did breakthrough during the summer. So I think this team's ready. I think, these are the final stages of putting it together, the first couple of weeks here. But I think once they hit that rhythm, I think they're going to be surprising a few teams in the state in this upcoming season.
Yeah, so Central scores a combined 30 points against Mount Pleasant and Classical.
Yep.
Central went out there and did what a lot of people thought they were probably going to do. Other games, I was watching the West Warwick game. Before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about, I don't want to jump ahead, the Barrington Pilgrim matchup. First off, the bus never showed up to pick up Pilgrim. They left them there stranded at the school. They're waiting for the bus. The bus don't even show up. What's that? First student bus? The Warwick Bus Company. You need to get your ball. You need to get on the ball.
Yeah. There's absolutely no excuse for that. I mean, unless the bus broke down and, they had no other buses, like there's literally no excuse for that. And honestly, I know that's not the case because I know, Warwick has a lot of buses. So, I mean, obviously I don't know the full story, but, there really is no excuse. If they know the bus can't make it within a little bit, then they need to be calling back up or something along those lines. But for them not to pick them up is awful.
No, definitely was no excuse for that at all. But the staff, the players, the parents all got together. They got the kids to West Warwick High School in time for their Barrington game. Barrington looked pretty good, They went with their typical, they switched the formation up a little, but it's the same thing. Their triple option. They put up 16-0. And Kofi, the kid's coming around. Pilgrim has some work to do, but I know Blake Simpson wasn't with them tonight for other reasons. But Pilgrim definitely has some work to do. Barrington looked pretty decent from what they showed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing a noise. I don't know if that's on your end, a crackling noise or something.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Barrington looked very good, putting up 16-0 against Pilgrim. And then the following game, West Warwick High School, Tolgate. West Warwick, from the start of the game, dominated the game. Tolgate had maybe one positive play where it ended up getting called back. A nice run. But West Warwick looks like they are the truth. And we're going to have Coach Pennington on pretty soon tonight. But West Warwick looks like the truth, putting up 32. And how does I don't know why you would ever call a timeout with 5 seconds to play in the game. You're down 32-0.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously we went there. I mean, sometimes there's teaching/coaching opportunities there, but honestly, with that, I mean, that could have been the situation. I have no idea, but at the end of the day, like, you just let the play clock the clock run out. Like you don't do that. But again, don't know what happened, don't know what the situation was, but be that as it may, we 5 seconds left. The scores, it's a blowout. You just let the clock run.
Yeah, I'm definitely want to talk to Coach Pennington because he has some superstars on that team. Tonight they were superstars. He had weapons everywhere. Brady, my alley. The kid was fantastic, connecting. They were running. I think they had a return for a touchdown. West Warwick had weapons available everywhere. They are going to be a very good Division III program.
Again, you got to give credit to Coach Pennington. I mean, he knows how to win. I mean, that's indicative of what he did in Division 4 with North Smithfield. He took his looks last year, and you know what? I know. I know for a fact, not getting into certain situations here, but I know for a fact, I know they worked hard during the off season. I know guys are in the gym. I know guys are getting after it. So,
to Coach Pennington, you lose your defensive coach. He quits on you a day before the season starts, which makes it even harder. So you have more, and them guys are just tuned in over there in West Warwick. 19 seniors. He's going to do okay in Division III. It's going to be a fight every game, and I think he knows that. He'll be on pretty soon. And the next game I wanted to talk about, my man Charlie B-Ball getting 2 chips before he's 30. I'm never going to let him live that down. Woonsocket beats Cranston, he's 18-6.
Wow, that's I didn't know about that game, but again, Charlie's another one. He's one of these coaches that knows what he's doing, and that score kind of shows it. That's pretty good there. I think again, he's going to be. He's going to be one. A lot of these teams are going to be a sleeper team. I can see them, shocking a lot of different teams that think they might, be running over teams in Division II. So, I would definitely watch out for them. That they're no slouches there at all. So, and again, he's another one. He knows how to win. He knows how to pull it out and pull victory from the jaws of defeat. I've seen it before. So he's gonna be one. It's gonna be one of them years when it's like a lot of these teams like, oh wow, don't count them out, don't count them out, don't count down, and definitely Woonsocket is one of them.
Oh yeah, 2018, 2019, he snatches them Division II championships. They lose a big game up here in Westerly. I think it was, I want to say like 62-0. They rallied around their team. They supported one of their players, and they go all the way and win a state championship, and then he wins back-to-back, and he does it the same, he does it again the following year, and then he had COVID, the COVID year, and Woonsocket's one of the teams that backed out of competition for the spring season, and now he's working his way back. Next season was a stepping stone, and I think Woonsocket's getting very, very good. And I know Felix should be on tonight. We're going to be doing predictions each week. We're going to have coaches come in this season and do them. And, Felix picked Woonsocket not to make the playoffs. I'm going to see if after he's seen the first or heard about the first injury fund game, if he still feels that way, about Woonsocket not making the playoffs. But Division II is looking very competitive.
Yep, and again, this was definitely predicted. We all know that the meat and potatoes of Rhode Island football this year is going to be Division II and Division III. Excuse me. There's going to be a lot of good football played within them divisions. Not that there's not going to be good football played in the other ones, but the bulk of the state, where everyone's going to be looking, is going to be Division II and Division III this year.
Yeah, and I said last year that the most competitive division was Division IV, and I think by score per game, except for the Ponteganza games, they were very, very tight games in Division IV. And this year, I think it is going to be Division II and Division III, because there's some great, great games. Now, there's more preseason football coming tomorrow. We have Central Falls at East Providence. Now, Central Falls, we will also have the Central Falls coach on the podcast this year for our Friday Night Light show. But East Providence, you're looking at a team with 90 kids this season. East Providence, salute to Coach Stringfellow, the good one. Put 90 kids over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a stat in itself that's just amazing. I mean, any program in Rhode Island that has that many kids is doing it the right way. Plus, I got to say this too. So, I had the opportunity to speak to a lot of the young players when they ran a camp there, and their field, their high school is immaculate. Like, that is by far the best field and the best high school in the state. There's absolutely no question about that. It is brand new. Everything is state of the art. I mean, literally, it was. I mean, that's really what all high schools in Rhode Island should look like. But I honestly think East Providence is going to do very well this year. Obviously, Coach Stringfellow is doing a good job. Their offensive line coach, Coach Jumbo, John Famon, he's doing a great job with them guys. You know how it is with him. He's coaching for his alma mater. I know he's very excited about that, and he's going to get after it. This year. But I really think there's going to be some big things going on there. And again, their team is young, okay, and they're improving each year. So they'll definitely shock a few people. I'm pretty sure about that.
Hey, Emerson, you want to stand by? We're going to bring Coach Pennington in right now after his Washington Wizards just got off the field.
Absolutely.
Coach Pennington, man, how we doing? Welcome. Can you hear me, Coach Penn?
I can hear you. I don't know if I'm in the show.
One second. Yeah, I think just hang on. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't see a picture. I didn't really see one on Emerson, but I can definitely hear you, Coach. Let me see if I can figure that out. Is your camera on your side?
My camera is in the dark. I'm in the dark because I'm in the.
Oh, okay. That's why. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good reason. What's up, Coach? Great game.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Game was awesome. I watched it courtesy of Fans Only Sports. You can go to YouTube and actually watch the game from the beginning to the end. I was just telling Emerson, you got so many weapons over there this season.
Yeah, we're a lot more balanced this year than we were in the past. Our running game, we're kind of big in a physical up front, and then we have a 4-year starter at quarterback coming back this year, and we got a couple young guys who like to run and catch footballs on the outside. So yeah, we're a little bit more balanced this year.
Brady Mayali, he looked terrific. And he's a great athlete. He done great last season. He goes right up to basketball. He's doing good, and then here we go, another season, and he was connecting to his targets.
Yeah, he threw some really nice footballs to Kyle Swanson, and really nice ball that I like. He threw to James Branch that scored a touchdown. I mean, we got a lot to clean up on. We got a lot to do better, but I like the way that they performed tonight.
Coach, being the situation you had with the defense this year, I believe you held them to about 30 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the defense looks really good right now. Again, there's some alignment issues we got to work on and get better at. But, I like the energy. I like the way that they're flowing to the football and they're getting after it.
And Coach, they had a return that was called back. What was the situation there? Not a return, but they had a nice little play that was called back.
Yeah, they had a nice return down our I believe our right sideline. Just again, someone out of alignment. That's all it takes is one guy, and they find it and they take off. But there was a clipping penalty on that, so that it got called. We made the tackle, they didn't score, but they got called back 15 yards, so that hurt them on that drive.
Nice. And at the end of the game, there's 5 seconds left. Tolgate calls a timeout.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to get something positive out of it. Call a timeout, get a good play that you can finish on, which is, I would probably think about doing the same thing, but it didn't work out too well.
Right. Emerson, before we let Wes Pennington go, we got Mike Washington up next. Emerson, you have any questions for Coach Pennington?
I have a question for M. Were they Emerson, can you hear me?
I'm backstage, Mike.
Nah, you're here. I got you. It's just I can't see you guys
There we go.
because you're driving.
Yeah. So, Coach Pennington, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
First of all, I want to commend you. I know you were in a rock and a hard place with the situation that happened with you. So, first of all, much respect to you for pushing through that, which I knew you would, obviously, and getting that done. And I know that wasn't easy for you, but I know you're a man of character and, more importantly, a man of faith, and I knew you'd push through it. So, much respect for you for getting that done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
One question, and you know this question is going to come. How'd your offensive line do?
Hey, your boy is going to be a beast this year. Let me tell you. I mean, Big J Prudent is a man. And then Julian Hammond. I mean, up front, we got a lot better in the offseason up front.
Good. I'm definitely glad to hear that. Obviously, I wanted to check up on him and just your line as a whole. A couple of them kind of trickled into my gym every once in a while, and they were, some of them stayed, some of them didn't. But I know they were working out, and honestly, that was a credit to them for really wanting to get after it this year. And again, it shows with what you guys did today. I'm glad to see things are progressing there. I know you've worked very hard as well, the young men there, and I wish you could continue success.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hey, was tonight like a training night?
What's that?
Was tonight a training night? Because I noticed that there were a couple of refs that were like shadowing other refs during the game.
Yeah. So I know. So I did the injury fund in Providence there with Central, Classical, and Mount Pleasant. So we had a guy that's not on our board yet with us. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it was. So they got some of the guys with a little less experience to be with guys with much more. So I know was kind of the case there with that. So, but yeah, this is all obviously these games don't count. But it is good experience for these guys to kind of get some live bullets flown at them and and kind of get it done there. So yeah, there was definitely a sprinkling of rookies around.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, that makes sense.
Great night to do it. Definitely, Coach Pennington, great game. And if anybody wants to watch it, I don't know if your school did the streaming yet. I don't know if they do preseason, but you could definitely go to Fans Only Sports. That's where I've watched it. The Pilgrim game, Barrington wins 16-0. Central puts a combined points 30-0 up on Classical and Mount Pleasant. Central played them both 1 quarter each.
Wow.
I don't know the
What are some of the other scores? What are some of the other scores?
Well, there's more games tomorrow. Then I didn't get the Portsmouth game tonight. The other games, the Portsmouth and Rogers score. So if someone has them scores, I appreciate it. But I had the Barrington score, your score, of course, and the Mount Pleasant and Classical score versus Central. But we still don't have the Rogers scores, and there's more games tomorrow. North Kingstown's injury fund games tomorrow. North Smithfield injury fund games tomorrow. What's the other one? Cumberland has injury fund games tomorrow. So there's great games at all of them high schools tomorrow. I have all the dates and times on my podcast page, so you could definitely check that out. Awesome. And look, I got all the scores too, so who's better than me?
Nobody.
There you go. Coach Penman, I wish you much success all season long. I know it's just an injury fund game, but the kids must have felt great about this. The staff, congratulations to all you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you. God bless.
Got to beat them. Nice uniforms. Yes, sir. God bless, Coach. Coach Pennington, a couple of years ago when he took North Smithfield to the first Super Bowl. What is that, 17 or 18, and then he returns the following year to play Tiverton again in a rematch, and he wins that Super Bowl. And then he leaves and comes over here to West Warwick, and he seems to be they're buying into his program just like they did in North Smithfield.
Well, I can tell you it's an easy buy-in because again, the man's successful. I mean, his track record is really good. You just you got to believe in him. You got to work with him. That's how that works. He's definitely a solid coach. And again, the proof is in his past of what he's done. He just needs opportunity and people to work with him. Once he gets that, he will prosper.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of great coaches throughout the state that I think are going to be the up and coming coaches. We have some other coaches that are assistant coaches right now that will soon one day get their turn. And one is, I think it's Anthony Alejandro, who was the former coach over at Shea, who is now the new quarterback coach, passing coordinator. And I think, he will get his chance at head coach. I think he has a very good football mind.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened to him at Shea, but again, closed doors lead to open ones. I think Pontiganza has a phenomenal coaching staff here, and I really expect good things from them this year. But to add him, along with Cliff, there's really going to be something to see down there in Pontiganza, when the time comes.
Jimmy's being hailed the new Alabama. He said he grabs up these coaches. I think they got about 23 kids from what I see, 23 or 27. I think if they got a good line. So me being a non-football guy, but I am USA football certified now, I would stay between the tackles. I wouldn't do what Camp does. I would listen to your assistant coaches, and I wouldn't do them jet sweeps, running to the outside, run between the tackles, and I think they could be okay.
Well, Shea has always been known for their speed. There's no question about that. That goes back to when I played them, and this is back in the mid '90s. Early to mid '90s here. Like that's what they're known for, and that's fine. Yes, they can definitely change things up. They definitely ran up the middle and a couple other things, and it is what it is there. But sometimes change is good. But I'm just glad to see a young man like him really get a shot and really flex his knowledge with Pontiganza. I really think that's going to benefit them. And obviously I know they're rebuilding. I know they lost a lot of seniors last year, but they're in Division III now, and honestly I know they had a good nucleus coming back. So that with solid coaching coming in, they can be another force here. So we're interested to see what they do this year.
Coach Washington was backstage, but I don't know. He ended up dropping out. I hope he comes back. I like to talk to him. But tomorrow, more injury fun games. North Smithfield, you're going to have a 4:45 Pontiganset at Situate. That's a crosstown game.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. Situate coming with a new program, new coaches coming over. Dino Scarnecchia coming over from Shea. Small line. I seen them kids were over at the Lyman Challenge. Salute to them for competing in that. They got about 30 kids as well. So that's going to be a game. And another game that's going to be over there is Smithfield at Burrville. Smithfield, 70 kids for a Division IV team. All I can say is, wow. 7:15, and then Johnston at North Providence. Get a look and see what North Providence can do. And then the late game, Juanita Sanchez at North Smithfield.
That should be interesting.
Yeah,
that should be interesting there.
Yeah, definitely. All good games over there. And then Cumberland High School also has some games tomorrow, and I think it's going to be, who's over there? Central Falls at East Providence, and then 6 p.m., Tolman at Davies. 7:15 has Shea at St. Ray's. And then Lincoln at Cumberland for the late game at 8:30 p.m. So all great games. And then there's more North Smithfield High School, so you can have your choice. Charahoe at SK, EWG at Narragansett. And then the late game is going to be Westerly at NK. Now, EWG is a team that's been going through a lot of injuries. Yesterday, I get a report there was a rescue over there. I hope they're okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a team that's been suffering a lot of injuries, and they haven't even played anybody yet.
Right.
So a lot of great games going on for this weekend's preseason football. The injury fund, whether you go to NK, whether you go to North Smithfield or Cumberland. What are you doing tomorrow? Are you going to any of these games?
No, I have classes at the gym and a couple of private clients, so I'll be doing that for a little bit. But yeah, I'll definitely be tuning in for you there to catch up on who's doing what. But yeah, it's definitely going to be. I've been so looking forward to this football finally starting here, and he's getting them juices flowing again. But I'm definitely glad this is definitely looking forward to this season.
My man over there, St. Ray's, right? The line coach. He said, between the tackles, when? LOL. Should be a fun game. Yeah, Barrington looked like they were simply doing what? Having fun out there? Yeah, and Blake's team, the bus never showed up. I'm not saying that is an excuse, but they left them stranded at the high school. They all had to figure out rides to get over there. Yep, Barrington wins 16-0. Central puts a combined 30-0 up between Classical and Mount Pleasant, played each for one quarter. We got Emerson Kilgore on, who was at that game. You want to rehash that game a little bit for the people that are just joining us?
Well, again, Central looked good. I mean, from top to bottom there. Offensive line was firing off the ball. Running back was hitting the ball. Hitting the line hard. I mean, they really looked good. I mean, passing was decent. But they came to play, and it showed. It was just nonstop. Play after play after play, and literally just wearing teams down. I mean, they were. They really did their thing, but I'm like I said, I'm definitely interested to see what Central is going to do this year in Division One. I think they're going to turn some heads and really kind of shock a few people there. But no, they look really, really good tonight. Again, I know Mount Pleasant gave them a little bit more of a fit, but again, that's going to be some work they got to do this week. But overall, I mean, Central look good. Central look really, really solid.
Yeah, salute to Mike Washington. He wasn't backstage. I hope he comes back on. But score, yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. Putting 14-0 up on Mount Pleasant, 16-0 over Classical. Again, West Warwick looks very, very good as well, putting up 32-0 over Tolgate. Tolgate calls a timeout with 5 seconds to go in the game. Yeah, so and a lot of good games tonight, and I'm glad Pilgrim was able. I'm glad it was such a short ride to West Warwick that Pilgrim was able to commute over there.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Again, don't know what happened. Obviously, not going to speculate, but I mean, also that's a distraction too. And please, I'm not taking anything away from Barrington. Obviously, Barrington did their thing and beat Pilgrim, but it's definitely a distraction where you're ready for the bus ride, and then all of a sudden the bus isn't there, and now you're trying to figure out how to get there. Like, you don't need that type of distraction before any game, regardless of what, injury fund, whatever. And yeah, not making excuses, but, big distractions like that are not needed. People need to be laser focused on the game. And, that might have taken some of the attention away from that. But, again, the game was played. Obviously Barrington did well, and, Pilgrim has some work to do, which is fine. I mean, that's why you play these games, But I really think that once things are adjusted and worked on, I think things will be fine for Pilgrim.
Barrington was throwing it up. They're going to connect sooner or later, and that's going to be a pretty decent connection. I think the name was Kofi. But if anyone has the Rogers scores or the Portsmouth scores, definitely put them in the comment section. But Emerson is going to be one great season. Division II is going to be what's up. A lot of good teams in these divisions. A lot of teams are going to have stuff to work on. West Warwick definitely has to get that kicking game together. I think on the extra point, they were 1 for 3. So they have to get that figured out. Tolgate, the West Warwick defense holds Tolgate to about 30 yards.
And, again, I know Tolgate, they got a lot of work. A lot of work ahead of them. Obviously, it's a new coach, but an experienced coach. I've heard through the grapevine that things are much more organized there. It's going to be a little work because, again, Tolgate has struggled in the recent years here, but I think that there's going to be kids that are eager to play, and if that coach can harness that and then, and work with them and build around that, I think they'll be fine. But, they're going to take their lumps and bumps right now. And, there's going to be games that, it's 32-0. It's going to happen, but again, you go from it and you move on. So, I know some of them guys were, working hard. I had a couple of them in my gym every once in a while, and, they're good kids and they're eager to work. So, I mean, that's what you can build on. So, you'll take your lumps this year. You might sneak out 1 or 2 victories somewhere, but it might be a rough one for them. But they're going to build from it and get better, and then we'll see what happens in the next couple of years.
And we can't forget on September 3rd, Bishop Hendricken going to Monsignor Farrell. They took their lumps against one of the better teams in the region, Iona, who has the 5th best quarterback, I think, in the country, and the number 1 quarterback in New York. So now Bishop Hendricken goes to Monsignor Farrell. They're young, big team, and that'll pretty much wrap up the preseason injury fund with the games.
And honestly, one thing, I mean, good for them for stepping out of the borders of Rhode Island and getting a taste of football elsewhere. I think that's something. I mean, if it was me, I would kind of require all teams to play one out-of-state team just so they could see something different, so they can experience that, the out-of-state play. And again, obviously obviously all these states have different divisions. You try to play someone, maybe a little bit higher or about the same, so you can really, get some good reps in. But, kudos to Bishop Hendricken for doing that, regardless of what you say about them or anything else. I mean, that is good. Like, these kids are going to get a solid experience of different styles of football, which they're going to need.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think what Keith Croft has done there is, you can't take nothing away from him. What, 12 out of 13 championships, I mean,
right.
People say what you want about however the kids get there, but it is what it is. He builds a great program, and his father brought a lot of kids to it, and he didn't have the success that Keith has. But I
Right.
like what Keith's doing at Bishop Hendricken. And I think other teams are stepping up, like Central. You see kids leaving Bishop Hendricken to go to Central. You see kids leaving Bishop Hendricken to go to Pilgrim. So
Right.
kids they're leaving Bishop Hendricken to go to other schools. And I think with Pathways, Westerly brings in Dwayne Miranda, the former Westerly Bulldog head coach. He's now the EMT, Emergency Medical Rescue instructor for the schools. So more schools are starting to promote the Pathways. I just wish they would let the sports program use it more, but they're forbidden to talk about it. God forbid if a coach says, hey, Pathways, but I think, schools are starting to promote it more.
Well, hopefully the powers that be can realize they're in the 21st century and maybe, try to work with folks with that angle. Not that obviously you don't want recruiting at the high school level, of course, but, I mean, I feel for the folks who, have the issues about, how, schools like Hendricken and LaSalle get their kids. But, I think that, I honestly think, I've always said this is that, sometimes, regardless, okay, this is the situation, still got to step up and play and then don't run, and that would lead us to Division I and Division II in the state right now. But, I just think that, it's something that could be used in working for programs and making them better, and kind of going that route. I mean, it's, I know other states have like the private leagues and the public leagues, and obviously Rhode Island's too small for that, since we only have two. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So, but I think that overall, I think the number one thing, and I've told kids this all the time, I don't care what school you go to, okay, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter, because there's talent everywhere. There's talent all over the place in the state, and it's not necessarily at one school or two schools. It's spread all over the place. You got to perform. Doesn't matter what division you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in Division IV in Rhode Island, Division III. And I definitely tell folks that it's like, it doesn't matter. I say, listen, I will tell my story. Pilgrim was in Division III in 1995. I made it to Syracuse. That was Division III in 1995. That if I did that back, of course I worked for it. So if you're gonna work like I worked and stuff like that, yes, opportunities are gonna come for you, but you got to work for it. So I don't really buy into all that. I think that people put in the work and you get stuff done, and you get seen. Especially now, it's easy. It's a click of a button, and your stuff's in front of a coach. You're not mailing VHS tapes to these coaches like I had to. So, but I think different. Overall. Yeah, the times are different, Mike. And, again, obviously I'm talking about the individual here, but even with team, I mean, again, you can, there's stuff that can be done, and, it's not mission impossible. You got to work at it. And yes, it's tough. It's a big mountain. I get it. But, it's kind of like what I dealt with at Syracuse, just to talk about this for a quick second. During the years that we were very successful, like, we were getting everyone's absolute best shot. It wasn't like, oh, we're playing Syracuse, let's go run. Like, that's not how it worked. Okay, they gave it their absolute best shot every single game. And the game that sticks out to me in with that was when we played against West Virginia in 1998, and West Virginia was maybe a 500 team that year, and they made us, Syracuse, their red letter game, meaning that if they lose. They can lose every single game of the year, but they're going to beat one team, and that was Syracuse, and they did, because they worked hard. And I remember talking to guys after, it's like, we ran, we did this, we did everything possible, and they beat us, because they put in that work. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter. You got to put in the work. That's the bottom line. Not being scared, not taking summers off, not taking the whole off season off, putting in that work. That's how success is built and made.
Emerson, Charlie, Coach B-Ball over at Woonsocket said, make sure you message him when you're done. He wants to speak with you, and I need 10% for that transaction being done on my show.
I don't know if I'm gonna talk to B-Ball, man. He's gonna be talking about the Rams again. I don't know about that. I don't know about you, Charlie. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Congratulations, Coach B-Ball, handling business at Cranston Stadium today, winning. I think it was 18-6. It was 6-6. I think somebody noticed Coach Dunbar in the stands. I think he might have been doing a little bit of scouting, watching his boy B-Ball.
Oh man.
He said he got a week left before he starts the Rams talk. I think I already seen him post some Rams stuff.
I knew it.
But
oh man.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations, Coach B-Ball. Congratulations. And there's some great games also going on this weekend. North Kingstown, there's some good events. So since Felix isn't here, not to pick Woonsocket, that was just a little dig. And I told you, Charlie, I'm going to ask Uncle Felix, like, what's up with you and my, Woonsocket Novans? You know what I'm saying? You never pick them. But we're going to, he was going to come on the show today, but I think he had to go up to URI, but coming up next week, Emerson, we're going to have the coaches that are going to be coming on, and they're going to pick their games, and we're going to keep a tally to the end of the year. And then we're going to
Yeah.
have a champion, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. But I'm going to
Yeah.
let you right now. Emerson Kilgore is going to pick a few games. So, Situate, Ponagansett. Who would you pick out of that game and why?
I'm definitely going to go with Ponagansett. I know Situate is in the rebuilding stage right now. I know they have a ways to go, and I commend the coach that's over there doing his thing there. But I know that it's going to take him a little bit to rebuild and have his coach have his players buy into what he's doing. So it might take him a little bit, but I think Ponagansett is they're going to continue their winning ways. I think that obviously with the coaching staff they have and the nucleus of kids coming back is going to be good. So I would definitely say Ponagansett over Situate.
And then you have Charahoe with new coach, the Slammer, with Coach Cato. I mean, I ain't too confident about it, but I love the kids over there. But the coaching staff, hey, we'll see what they do. But they're playing SK. SK looked very good. A lot of them kids played at Breakthrough with Team Pink, and I think they won the championship over Team Yellow, Mike Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I know I'm not actually too familiar with either team. I hate to say it. The teams closer to me, I'm much more familiar with. The teams further south, I'm not, with the exception of obviously Westerly. But I would say not knowing either one, but I know about SK a little bit. I would give the slight edge to South Kingston. I think that'd probably be a barn burner, but I think South Kingston would probably pull it out in the end there.
Oh yeah, I think SK is gonna light them up. But
Yeah.
Barterville and Smithfield. Now Smithfield coming with 70 kids. Imagine that D4, 70 kids. Like I said, they can go 2 offenses, no huddle. You know what I mean? And be able to just breeze right through Division 4.
So first of all, I think Smithfield is going to be that team in Division 4 that's going to surprise a whole bunch of folks. But as far as Burrowville, I would probably give the advantage to Burrowville just because it's I know that style of offense that they run, and I'm actually a big fan of it. So I will go with a slight edge to Burrowville there.
Barterville, the most consistent team, I think, in the history of RIIL. And I know a lot of people say, but they won a lot of them championships in D3 or the Eastern Division, whatever they called it then. But they still have, 24 championships? So
yeah, something like that. So, but no, they do football well up there. There's no question about that.
North Smithfield and Juanita Sanchez.
I'm going to say Juanita Sanchez.
All right, and then the last one I'm going to ask you, Cranston West. No, one more after this one. Cranston West and Coventry.
Ooh, that's a good one. I know both head coaches. I've worked with both. That's going to be an interesting one. That's actually one I would actually like to go see. I don't know if I can make a prediction there. That's a very good matchup there. I would say maybe slight edge to Coventry. I know Coach Goodhart's style, but I know the coach at Cranston West too. I mean, it would be a good one. I would say maybe Coventry, but honestly, that would be a good one. That one can go. I would say that one would go either way.
It can go either way. I think if Cranston West is going to try that Wildcat formation, I think people are going to be able to figure that out. And Coventry, I heard the Turner kids coming back, so you look at Division 3, and Coventry looks like a very good team. So the last one that I would ask you, Westerly and NK.
Ooh.
Tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to go with Wesley on that one. And I'm going to tell you why. So I know that I don't want to say. I mean, well, let me just put it this way. I've seen what Coach Dunbar has done down there so far. Obviously I've told him on I followed him on social media, and I know the work that he put in. Really don't know too much about North Kingston. Obviously, I know North Kingston's a force to be reckoned with either way. But I know the work that Wesley's put in. So just by knowing that and really not knowing what North Kingston has done, and no disrespect to them, I would give the edge to Westerly.
Okay, we'll have to check tomorrow all these scores, but starting next week when our coaches pick them on Thursday nights, I think that's going to be very good because now the coaches, we'll see the coaches picking their favorite teams of the week. I hope to add some more coaches to it, but I don't know what happened to Mikey Washington. He jumped on. He knew I was going to ask him them tough questions, how he handled, the tough defenses all day.
Well, he did a phenomenal job today. Again, that his offense was. I mean, that line was moving people. That running back was hitting that hole hard. He was that running back was really, really good. That passing game was okay, but the ground game was solid. I mean, those boys up front were just manhandling some of them guys, and there was a point where it was definitely a pancake, and I just looked at him, and he saw it. I didn't say anything. He just saw it, and I was like, "Yep, that's how you get it done, my friend." He took the guy, drove him right back, and I'm like, "Yep." I was like, as a former offensive lineman, I like that stuff. When I see linemen getting after it, and obviously not just with Central, but any offensive line. Like when I see them driving guys off the ball and just just tearing them apart, that's good stuff. And even defensive line wise as well. Getting by that offensive line and getting the pressure or getting that sack or getting that tackle behind the line. That's good stuff. That's where to me that's where football lives. Football's right there. I ain't care. I'm not too concerned about the fast guys. I like all the actions up front. That's to me that's where football lives. Right in the trenches.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely his kids do play with a lot of intensity and they play hard and they play till the whistle's over. I seen, his kids been at it. They were very strong at the lineman challenge. I've been down to the field a few times behind Providence Career Technical, and they're out there working 9 a.m. in the morning all summer long. So yeah, Central is the real thing, and they look great at breakthrough. Team Yellow looked great at breakthrough, except when it counted. Against Blizzy Blake.
And again, I want to give their line a shout out too, because again, when I did the camp at UMass Dartmouth, and I saw a lot of the Central guys there. I mean, and I had a lot of them in my position. They were really putting in that work, and it was a good thing to see. So I mean, they're just they did a really good job, and again, obviously they didn't make some tweaks. There obviously were some things that they need to work on, obviously, but this came out strong. And again, that's Coach Washington really getting it done there. But all the kids were cool, respectable, and just got the job done. So can't be mad at that.
No, well, Emerson, I know it's been a long day. Thank you. Big shout out to 401 Strength and Fitness. How are things going on over there? Okay.
Yeah, things have been okay. It's been, obviously this is kind of the last unofficial weekend of summer here with Labor Day coming up. So, it's been a little slow, but once everyone's done doing the vacation thing, things will start picking up. I've already got some folks here for planning for the winter and things like that. So it's really good. But no, overall things have been okay. It's all the guys I've been working with. Much success to you guys this season. I'll be texting y'all to see how you guys are doing, and I'm just I'm very excited for the season. I'm very excited for the fact that I work with a lot of these young men. And they're getting the job done. Obviously, earlier when I talked to Coach Pennington, I work with one of his offensive line, and he's an absolute solid figure here. He's a bit taller than me. He's about 6'5", 6'6". He's got a really good frame, and honestly, he's going to be, he's worked really hard during the off season. So, I'm expecting a lot of good things from him, and honestly, all the other kids as well. But yeah, it's definitely glad to be working with these young men and getting them to the next step and the next phase of their career, which is again, even if it's the next year of high school, just getting better and getting stronger and working on their technique. So, but yeah, and even the guys I worked with in college. I'm just glad to be I have an opportunity to work and give back to the sport and the state that's given me plenty.
Oh, yeah. It must be something. And another thing I want to say, I really thought that my son Eric was going to keep his word when he says that, he wasn't going to associate with anyone that associated with me. I'm very upset at him because integrity is big, And here he goes today calling everybody. Hey, can I get the update on your game? Like what's going to happen? And like he can't even keep his word. Like I'm very upset at him. Very upset. I wish I could find
this game is all about credibility. It really is. And oh my God, like he's such a piece of work.
The Journal dropped the software that they used to have stats on. Remember, you can go to Providence Journal and see the stats. Well, now they don't want to pay the $49.99 a month for the service no more because times are rough.
Right.
But they dropped that software, so now they're going to rely on coaches to call in stats. Which, okay, yeah, let's see how that does. You can't even.
Right.
It's tough to get coaches to update max preps. Never mind call in a stat to the Journal, but I'm a little upset he didn't keep his word. I wish I had the picture, but it's okay. It's on my Facebook page, but he's my son, and
Well, listen, all the thing I got to say is this. So obviously during my time when I was at Pilgrim, I got to meet a lot of guys from the Journal. I was very blessed to be interviewed by a lot of them and, be in the front page of the paper and have big articles written about me. And I always consider that a blessing. The guys who did that, I always had respect for. It was Mr. Galooly, he was one. Mr. Bob Dick, he was one. There was a few more there, but those guys always had integrity. There was never any nonsense about them. They were always straightforward, always upbeat. No drama whatsoever. And I truly wish that to come back to the Journal. I really think that in this day and age, with everything being so, in your face here with, up to the second updates about every little thing, that they would have someone that would have integrity and really be about the sports community. And I mean, obviously with us in football and not be the way he is. Like, I really hate the fact that there is something like this division here. Like, I would think that if they were smart, they would work with a guy like you who gets the stories and knows the people and has a respect to the people and has the credibility to do so. But they're not doing that. And it's unfortunate because, again, it could be a well-oiled machine where everyone works together, gets their piece of the pie and the sport is lifted up. But unfortunately, the ego gets in the way with him, and it's unfortunate, and whatever else is his issue. But at the end of the day, I wish the Journal would wake up and kind of smell the coffee here and kind of realize what's going on with this guy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is their choice, is what they're doing, and they got to live with it. But things would be better if if certain people weren't there anymore. And again, I know guys there now. I'm not going to mention names. I don't want any issues, but now I know guys there that that are good and just do their thing. Like, I wish this guy Rube would do that. But again, the whole nonsense with calling us whiny babies back in the day when we're just advocating for our kids to play football while other states are doing it, and he had the nerve to call us that. I mean, his credibility and everything else that he could have had was gone that moment. So, it's unfortunate, but again, this is how the guy is. So it is what it is. So, but again, as I always say, I'm glad we have this platform here with you, and you have the credibility that he dreams about, and the heck with him.
That's right. Look, I just gotta say this.
We see what happened to the last dude tried to. Yeah, I bet he probably went home and cried.
And don't forget, the Providence Journal is going to be real this year.
No one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about who's winning games and who's doing what. We're real. The rebellion is real. Providence Journal coverage is going to be real this year. It's almost here. 3 days away.
The rebellion.
The rebellion. Really? Oh, God.
You can't even make this shit up.
Oh, man.
I hope Eric don't go nowhere. Please stay where you are. Keep doing your thing, man. Salute to Eric Rube. Everybody subscribe. He didn't even give me my $1 back. And then I got haunted by the Gansett company that owns the Journal. I wanted to cancel. They said, oh, if you give me $1 something, you can cancel. Oh, no, I don't want to pay it. Oh, then you got to call this number. And I was like,
oh, my God.
Subscribe. We need Eric Rube to keep making a fool out of himself. East Providence should be naming it's about a year ago he said they should name a seat after him. You know, so that might be coming soon. Put a lawn chair outside. But Emerson, thank you, man. It's gonna be great. Tomorrow we'll have Cliff Fortin on, we'll have Jeff Piver, Gary Goodhart, you know, and maybe we'll hook back up with Mikey Washington, and we got to squeeze Charlie B-Ball's arms to get him up here. We got to talk to the East Providence coach as well. But
absolutely.
Emerson, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Get out there to 401 Strength and Fitness. And I just want to thank my sponsors. Shout out to Rally Point. You know, definitely get a copy of Coach Pennington's book. Definitely big shout out to Breakthrough, all that they did this offseason, you know, to help me with the podcast. Great passing league Coach Dunbar had, you know, Coldwell Banker, you know, 401 Strength and Fitness, Dola Design. If you need a handcraft thing, you know, definitely reach out to Blake Simpson. You know, they have Dola Design where they'll make home decor. So a lot of good things, Emerson. Appreciate it.
No problem, Mike. Have a good one.
Hey, all right. Socket wins 18-6. West Warwick 32-0 over Tolgate. Great games today. Central put up 16-0 over Classical, and then Central put up 14-0 over Mount Pleasant. Don't know who they played first. Barrington looked very good against Pilgrim, putting up 16-0. Also getting a safety. Good game. You know, the bus company leaves Pilgrim stranded. What else happened? West Warwick puts up 32 on Tolgate. Tolgate's coach with 5 seconds to play in the game, down 32-0, calls a timeout. I don't know why, but a lot of good games going on tomorrow, man. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to you all.
Federal, switchy brag. Let's go. Come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life. For some, it's a shitty life. This is city living. Mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard. Private's my backyard. I run road out. You can call me a track star. And we a team, homie. All is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't ruckus, so please don't call me Mr. 401. It's Mr. Rags. You can call me. I'm still in that 401. From where we was, look at all we become. For what it's worth, I put my all in the sun. Know that my city love it. My city's budget about my city's public. Know how my city